Hey, third grade, it's Mrs. G, and this is your number talks for today. So I just want to remind you to use your hand signals, your fist on your chest, that means you're thinking. One finger up means you have one strategy. And as I always say, I encourage you to think of a second or a third strategy. And you would show us that you have two or three strategies by holding up two or three additional fingers. All right, so let's begin. And just a reminder, you are turning this number talks in. So the first one that you should see is 60 minus 54. And you guys can use any strategy that works best for you in order to solve these subtraction number sentences. So I'm going to start by rewriting my number sentence. So I have 60 take away 54. And I'm going to think about a strategy that would work best for me. And I'm going to use the adding up strategy just because it's one that we kind of touched on, but you can use removal, you can use subtraction by place value. So just for this first one, I'm going to do subtraction by adding up. And I'm going to start with 54. And I'm going to remember what I need to add to 54 to make it to a friendly number. Remember, a friendly number is a number that ends in 0. So I know remembering how to make a 10 from when we did that in class. I have 54 and I can add 6 to that. And that I know will give me a friendly number, which equals to 60. And look at that. Look at this. This is the number that we added. And like I always like to do, I like to highlight it. And when we are in class, I underline this number so that we can know that that is how much we had to add. And in this case, we've already made it to 60, which is our first number that we have here. So I know that the difference between 60 and 54 is 6. So I'm going to rewrite my number sentence once more. 60 minus 54 equals 6. If that's what you got, great job, mathematicians. Let's move on to the next one. 60 minus 49. Let's give you a second to think about it. Okay. I'm going to start thinking of the strategies that I can use. And in this case, I'm going to subtract in chunks. So I'm going to rewrite my number sentence 60 minus 49 equals. And in order to get the chunks, I'm going to chunk out 49. And I know in order to get 49, that is going to be 60 minus, and since I'm going to be breaking 49 apart, I'm going to put it in parentheses. So 40 minus 9, or 40 plus 9, sorry, I had subtraction on the brain today. And that equals the first part of this equation that I'm going to subtract is the 40 that we see here. Right there, you see it? So 60 minus 40 equals 20. Next, I'm going to continue to subtract. Now I have to subtract my ones, which is the 9 from this 20. So 20 minus 9. I'm going to think about all the strategies that I have in order to get this answer. And that is 11. Is that what you guys got? I bet it was. You guys are so good at this. All right, let's move on to the next one. Here we have 60 minus 39. So I'll give you guys an opportunity to think about what the difference could be, what strategies you could possibly use to help you get to this answer. All right. So I have 60 take away 39. I'm going to start by writing 60 minus 39. Next, I'm going to turn this into a friendly number. So I have 39 plus 1. That gives me 40. I'm just going to remember to highlight this. So I'm using the adding up strategy. Now I'm going to take my new sum here, 40 plus a number gives me 60. I'm trying to add up in order to get to 60. So I know that if I add 20, because I know 4 plus 2 is 6, if I add 40 plus 20, that's going to give me 60. I'm going to make my 20 here red. Then I'm going to rewrite my number sentence with my numbers, with my digits that are in red. So I have 20 plus 1 equals 21. And that tells me that the difference between 60 and 39 is 21. So I have, let's just rewrite that number sentence so that we know this is our final answer. So 60 take away 39 equals 21 as my final answer. And the strategy that Mrs. G used was adding up to subtract. All right. Here is our last one for today. 60 minus 29. I'll give you guys a chance to think. Remember to use your hand signals. And if you are participating while you're in class, and it's online, remember to use your little blue raised hand to let your teachers know, just in case we can't see your little square on the screen. All right. Are we ready to answer this now? Let's do it. So we are going to rewrite our number sentence. 60 minus 29 equals, and I'm going to do subtraction in chunks. So I'm going to break my 29 apart into tens and ones, and I'm just going to make sure that I rewrite my number sentence along the way. So now my number sentence looks like this, since I'm breaking up the 29 so that I can subtract it in chunks. So first I'm going to subtract 20 from the 60, and that gives me 40. Next, I'm going to subtract from the 40. I'm going to subtract 9 from the 40. And that will give me 31 as my final answer. And just so that I know once more what my original number sentence was, it's 60 minus 29 equals 31 as my final answer. And what Mrs. G did was I subtracted in chunks. Great job, mathematicians. All right, and then this is the final slide. Remember, this is what we are going to turn in. This is a second strategy for this final one that we did. The first one was subtraction in chunks, and this next one is adding up in order to subtract. All right, friends. Hope to see you soon. Bye.